single line divides one nation into two completely different worlds. On one side, a global economic powerhouse filled with skyscrapers, technology, and more than 50 million people. On the other, one of the most secretive countries on Earth. The distance between them is only a few hundred feet, yet crossing that line could change your life forever. Welcome to Hidden Earth, where we uncover the world's forgotten places, incredible mysteries, and true stories that are stranger than fiction. Today, we're traveling to one of the most heavily guarded borders on Earth to answer a question many people have asked for decades. If the Korean War ended more than 70 years ago, why are North and South Korea still technically at war? To understand the answer, we have to go back to the end of World War II. For decades, Korea had been under Japanese rule. When Japan surrendered in 1945, the Korean peninsula was suddenly left without a government. Rather than immediately creating one unified nation, the victorious Allied powers made a temporary decision. They divided Korea along the 38th parallel. The Soviet Union would oversee the north. The United States would oversee the south. The arrangement was supposed to last only until a permanent government could be established. But the world was changing. The Cold War had begun. Tensions between the Soviet Union and the United States grew rapidly, and Korea became one of the first places where those rival ideologies collided. In the north, a communist government took power under Kim Il-sung. In the south, a separate government, supported by the United States, was established. Each claimed to be the legitimate government of all Korea. Neither accepted the division as permanent. Then, on June 25, 1950, everything changed. North Korean forces crossed the 38th parallel with tanks and hundreds of thousands of soldiers, launching a full-scale invasion of South Korea. Within days, cities began falling. Refugees fled south. The war spread with astonishing speed. The United Nations, led primarily by the United States, intervened to defend South Korea. Later, China entered the conflict in support of North Korea. What began as a civil war quickly became an international conflict involving millions of soldiers. For 3 years, the fighting devastated the Korean peninsula. Entire cities were destroyed. Families were separated. Millions of civilians were displaced. By the time the front lines stabilized, they looked remarkably similar to where they had begun, near the 38th parallel. In 1953, both sides agreed to stop fighting. But here's the part many people don't realize. They never signed a peace treaty. Instead, they signed an armistice. An armistice is an agreement to stop active fighting. It is not the same thing as officially ending a war. Legally speaking, the Korean War has never been concluded. The fighting stopped. The war did not. To help prevent another invasion, a buffer zone was established between the two countries. It became known as the Korean Demilitarized Zone. Ironically, despite its name, it would become one of the most heavily fortified borders anywhere on Earth. Stretching about 160 miles across the peninsula, the DMZ is roughly 2.5 miles wide. Barbed wire fences, watchtowers, minefields, military patrols, advanced surveillance systems. For decades, both sides have watched each other across this narrow strip of land, separated by only a few hundred feet in some places. And despite the silence, the tension never completely disappeared. Over the decades, there have been moments when the conflict threatened to erupt again. Shots have occasionally been fired across the border. Soldiers have defected in both directions. Secret tunnels dug beneath the DMZ have been discovered, large enough for thousands of troops to move through in a matter of hours. Each discovery reminded the world that the Korean peninsula remains one of the most fragile places on Earth. Yet despite the danger, something remarkable has happened inside the demilitarized zone. Because so few people have been allowed to enter for more than 70 years, nature has quietly reclaimed the land. Forests have grown undisturbed, wetlands have flourished. Rare cranes migrate through the region. Black bears, deer, wild boar, and countless other species now thrive in an area that humans rarely visit. Ironically, one of the most heavily guarded military borders in history has become one of Asia's most unexpected wildlife sanctuaries. It's a place where nature has found peace, even when people have not. For millions of Korean families, however, the division remains deeply personal. When the peninsula was split, countless parents, children, brothers, sisters, and friends suddenly found themselves living on opposite sides of the border. Many never saw each other again. Some didn't even know whether their loved ones were still alive. Over the years, a small number of carefully organized family reunions have taken place, allowing relatives separated for decades to meet for only a few hours before saying goodbye once more. For many participants, it was the first and last time they would ever see each other again. It's a powerful reminder that behind every political conflict are ordinary people whose lives are changed forever. Today, the two Koreas have taken very different paths. South Korea has become one of the world's leading economies, known for its technology, entertainment, and global influence. North Korea remains one of the most isolated nations on Earth, with strict government control and very limited contact with the outside world. The contrast is striking. Two countries, one shared history, completely different futures. So why are North and South Korea still technically at war? Because while the guns largely fell silent in 1953, the conflict was never officially brought to an end. The armistice stopped the fighting. It did not create peace. More than 70 years later, that unfinished chapter of history still shapes the lives of millions of people. The Korean Peninsula reminds us that wars don't always end with celebrations or signed treaties. Sometimes they simply pause, waiting for history to decide what comes next. Thanks for joining us on another journey across Hidden Earth. If this story fascinated you, there are countless more waiting to be uncovered. Subscribe for more documentary-style stories from around the world and continue your journey by watching the next episode on your screen. Until next time, keep exploring.